big day today on site. We have the sprinkler system is getting its first fix, so the guys from Smart Mist are here and they're going to be roughing this out, which is great because it allows us to start getting all our services in and we can walk around then. Yeah, very busy day today. We have, as I say, all the sprinkler system hoses going in. We're on the ground floor. That's us on the ground floor, and then upstairs we have Dylan stripping the last infected area that has to come down. Great work, Dylan. And Logan is on the top floor getting in our fire stops. Really taking shape up here actually. So this is us fire stops, nice, clean, tight, no air gaps. Just an update on our dry rot as well. That's been a number of weeks now and absolutely no sign of it coming back, which is a huge relief. This was one of the particular bad spots, so been watching it, kind of checking it every kind of week or so. Yeah, absolutely no sign of any more fungi. Yeah, zero dry rot. We've deliberately left this exposed. We could actually get all this insulated, but as I say, I've been waiting just to make sure that we're not covering up any areas that have potentially been missed or regrowing. So yeah, also just letting it breathe as well. The insulation that we're going to use will be breathable, but you can't beat an open wall, and the weather's been great, so just really maximising the conditions that we've got, and there's no urgency to get that insulated. It would be visually rewarding, and that's about it really. There's no great rush for that. So this is as the system is first fixed. It now gets wet pressure tested to 40 bar, which is a lot of pressure. So this is us at the pretty simple piece of kit. Just the water goes in, you pump this up, and then we are sitting at over 40 bar at the minute, and then that gets connected in here. I'll get left for maybe a couple of hours just to make sure there's no weeps or leaks anywhere. And then we are good to depressurize, and that allows us to get everything covered up. So today's task is a bit of a niggly one. We are finishing this firewall, getting them all tied in, secured and plumb. But to make sure it's doing what it's meant to do, we're having to extend it up into each of these joist bays, which is a bit of a nuisance. We need to get the legs on and then fire stops in between again, just to make sure that we are meeting all the regs. We need to do the same here. Bit of a nuisance, but it's almost done. So now we've got most of framing up, you can really get a much better idea of layout and what we've got and where it's going. So I'm standing in what's going to be the smallest apartment. This is essentially going to be a studio, but again, probably the quirkiest room. So here's entrance coming off the first landing. We will have a stud wall formed off of here. This will create a shower toilet room. Bedroom's going to be going over here with a stud wall, almost just a privacy screen. This, on the drawings, it's down to get closed in to create an enclosed bedroom, but I just feel it's going to shut off this space far too much. So I'm just going to go for a screen that you can walk around each side, and it will just have a double bed on the other side of it. Swinging round, this will be living area, might have a couple of units over there for the kitchen, and then on this side of the bathroom wall there will be a small row of kitchen units as well. And there you have it. You will form this just really quirky little studio kind of bed set, if you like. But yeah, with all these windows, all the sort of steps in the ceiling, we're going to have to reform this. I say we're going to reform this archway here just to add that nice detail, because there's just so many original features in such a small space. I mean, you've got the fireplace over here, you know, you've got a lot of windows, but all different sizes, all different styles. The detail around each window is all slightly different. You kind of got the archways. It's just a fantastic little room, and really looking forward to seeing how the space goes together. We've had to strip that out because of the dry rot, but you can see what these features add. You know, once you take them away, it's literally just a square recess, whereas with that nice rounded and archway and the moulding on the edge, it just provides these nice subtle details. First floor landing now, and again we're going to have, this is entrance to one bedroom apartment on your right, and then the other one bedroom apartment entrance is here. So you'll step up, this is going to be a bedroom, and then there'll be a stud wall, this will be a shower room, and then this will be, we've moved home here. We're utilising this as our lunchroom at the minute, and this will form a kitchen living room. So behind where the tent is just now, there'll be a row of kitchen units, and panning around, this will be the sort of living area. So this is a great size, actually. It'll be another quirky little space. And then walking into hallway for this one bedroom, nice sized, very spacious bathroom. We've completed our firewall along here. Everything is insulated up here as well. So we've got 3 layers of 100mm insulation in our loft space. We've not done the hallway landing because we've got a smoke vent to put in there. This will be bedroom, great sized bedroom, nice big double bedroom. And then along the end here, kitchen on this back wall, stepping into kitchen living room, nice stove and living area down here. And again, we have been fully insulated. So I'm standing on the landing of the first floor, and this is where Brandon was testing the system. And the reason he tested it here is because we have 2 outlets here, and this is where a zone valve will be going. That will split up the system into separate zones. All the way down in the basement, we're going to have something called a priority valve. Now that goes on our cold water incoming main before any other branch. So what happens is it will shut off the main supply going up and feeding all the kind of water outlets, showers, washing machines, kitchen taps, and there's a branch off of that feeds the sprinkler system. So that means in the event of a fire, the sprinkler system has absolute priority of the water supply. No water goes anywhere else, and it just ensures that the nozzles have everything they need. We also need a minimum flow rate of 12 litres per minute, which is pretty standard, to be honest. If you are struggling to achieve that, you can put in pump systems and things, but we have, I think we've got 15 litres per minute on our incoming main so far. So you can also, if you're struggling for water flow rates, you can run a individual water main that purely supplies the sprinkler system, but we don't need to do that in this case. So that is our sprinkler system. It's all tested and it was all holding pressure. It is now not a live system, so we carry on, which is what these things are always a little bit unnerving, because the next time that goes live, it will be covered in 3 sheets of plasterboard. Very likely it will be plastered as well. But I mean, that's the case with just about everything, you know, all your electrics and things. Generally, they can be dead or not in use anyway, and you don't know you've got problems until much further down the line, but hopefully we don't have that. So yeah, now we are watertight. Now we have our stud walls up, we have our sprinkler system in. That is our kind of rough structure ready to go. What we're waiting for now is we're waiting for a delivery actually of composite battens, which are wooden battens with a thin foam strip underneath, and that goes on top of our existing flooring. This is all to meet, it is all noise and fire suppression. It all pretty much always ties back to that really. So yeah, we've got 70mm battens, we've got that, they need to go down, we insulate in between that. We then get our flooring down on top of that, and then we can start building our internal stud walls, which will start forming our bathrooms, kitchens, and then once we've done that, we are on to cable and all the services. So really solid stage. Things start changing very fast. As I've said before, decisions are beginning to get made. We're also on to radiator positions, so we need to know the style of radiators that are going in. We need to know socket positions, so you're determining room layouts, furniture layouts. Kitchens are going, we're starting to get roughed out, so we need to know drainage. So there's just so many things, light positions, light switches. So yeah, it all really kind of amps up from here on. It just keeps going and going and going, and exciting, very exciting. But this is where it really starts getting into the serious stuff. All this sort of stud walls, and that's all relatively forgiving stuff. Really quite rewarding stuff as well once you get on a bit of a roll with it and flow. Yeah, the big stuff is all to come. All the technical stuff now, the things that really matter. So what next? Next stage is getting our composite batten, our noise suppression battens on the floor, getting our new flooring system down. There's quite a process involved in that. We're going to start on the second floor and that 1-bedroom apartment, and we're just going to get that all done because it's sort of in the best condition. And then that will almost be our example property. I'll be able to show that to building control as the sort of benchmark, and hopefully give us a green light just to carry on. From there, that gives us a good solid base to start building our internal stud partitions off of. So yeah, the reason we did our firewall studs first is because you want an uninterrupted vertical fire system, so there's no breaks in that wall at all, no flooring cutting through it, anything like that. So yeah, we then butt our floor, because that wall, the firewall's on the sort of boundary of each flat. There's like a big chamber essentially which encases the stairwell, and yeah, we'll get a floor down, studs off of that in each flat. And what we're going to do is, the reason we're going to start and concentrate on that upper floor is it allows a sort of staggered point for each property and what stage it's at. So we'll get that all sheeted, and then a plaster can come in behind us and start plastering that whilst we are moving on to the next property. And then, you know, in theory, as we're finishing the next one, the plaster can roll into that, and then as the plaster is moving out of one, the painter decorator can go into the next. So it's kind of, it really just reduces lag time. You don't want to get the whole place ready for plaster, and the plaster comes in, and then we all need to wait for that, and then, you know, yada yada yada. So yeah, it's all about staggering trades and sort of staggering progress. Another reason why where I'm standing right now is relatively untouched, because we can get the first 2 floors completed. This doesn't affect that at this point anyway. So yeah, really at a solid stage, ready to kick on, and progress is going to happen fast. So how old is this building really? And the reality is there is no clear-cut answer to that. So it's Queen Anne style, so built around 1890-ish, but that is this top section. So this was a cottage previous to that, and the dates, we're still trying to find that out actually. It did used to be a baker's many moons ago, and there's an old oven in the basement actually, which I still need to show you. But you can see here that this is a Queen Anne. This is from 1890 onwards, and this is the existing cottage. You can see they've almost just built off of the top of that, used it as a solid base for this, for what goes on top. So this, the lower half, ground floor and basement, are definitely older than the Queen Anne, and obviously it's been kind of rendered and had various adaptations externally over the years. But yeah, this lower section is 100% older than the Queen Anne style. This was not all built at the one time, so watch this space and hopefully we will have a definitive answer for how old each part of the building is in the not too distant future.